The shelf of forgotten dreams. Woody had always been the leader, the sheriff, the steadfast protector of Andy's toys. His most cherished dream, the one that burned brighter than any other in his fabric-filled chest, was simple: to be loved and played with forever. He lived for the sound of Andy's laughter, for the feel of his small hands as they gripped him tightly, imagining countless adventures together. The thought of being forgotten, tossed aside, or replaced was a nightmare that lurked in the deepest corners of his mind. Years passed, and Andy grew older. Woody had watched the signs. First, the longer gaps between play sessions, then the new gadgets and toys that slowly took precedence. Woody convinced himself that he was special, that Andy would never truly forget him. But now, he sat in darkness. The attic was silent, cold, and filled with the ghosts of forgotten toys. Dust had settled into the cracks of his once pristine cowboy hat, and his string no longer pulled with the same cheerful click. He wasn't alone. Around him were toys from years past, relics of Andy's childhood. But there was no camaraderie here. Each toy sat motionless, eyes lifeless, as if they had surrendered to their fate. Woody refused to join them. He believed in one last chance, one more playtime. Andy would come back. He had to. The attic had its own sounds, though. Not the playful sounds Woody was used to. Creaks of the wooden beams above, the wind howling through tiny cracks in the roof, and sometimes soft whispers that Woody couldn't quite place. At first, he dismissed them, thinking they were just figments of his imagination, the result of too much time alone. But they grew louder, more insistent, as if the attic itself was alive, breathing and watching. Weeks turned into months, and Woody's hope began to wane. The whispers grew louder. At night, he could hear them clearer, voices calling his name, taunting him. "He's forgotten you," they'd hiss. "You're nothing now." Woody would close his eyes, pull his hat low over his face, and try to block them out. But they never stopped. One day, something changed. Woody felt a shift, something cold and unnatural that seemed to move through the air. It was subtle at first, a flicker of movement in the corner of his eye. Then, out of the shadows, they came, the forgotten toys. Toys Woody hadn't seen before, or at least didn't remember. Their eyes were hollow, their fabric and plastic bodies twisted, and they moved with an eerie, unnatural stiffness. "You waited too long, Sheriff," one of them rasped, its voice like a hiss of wind through a broken window. It looked like a doll, but its face was cracked, and its limbs bent at unnatural angles. "He's gone now." They all go. And now, "You're one of us." Woody shook his head, his pull string vibrating with the movement. "No, Andy. Andy will come back. I'm not forgotten. I'm not like you." But the toys closed in, their movements slow and deliberate. The light in the attic seemed to dim, and Woody's world became darker with each step they took. He could feel the weight of their despair, of their abandonment, crushing down on him. For the first time, Woody felt something he had never experienced before. True fear. You were his favorite. A toy murmured from the darkness, its voice dripping with malice. Now you're just another memory, lost in the attic, left to rot. Woody backed away, his plastic feet scraping against the wooden floor. He wanted to run, to escape, but there was nowhere to go. The attic was vast and endless, a maze of forgotten things. Everywhere he turned, more toys appeared, their faces warped with sadness and anger. He could hear the whispers again, louder now, repeating the same phrase over and over. Forgotten. abandoned, forgotten, abandoned.
abandoned.
No! Woody screamed, pulling his string in desperation. There's a snake in my boot. The voice that came out was hollow, echoing in the suffocating darkness. It didn't bring the comfort it once had. The toys circled closer. One of them reached out, a small plastic hand brushing against Woody's arm. Its touch was cold, lifeless. Woody tried to shake it off, but the hand gripped tighter. Soon, more hands were on him, pulling him down, dragging him into the depths of the attic. He struggled, but it was no use. Their grip was too strong. You're one of us now, they whispered. One of the forgotten. As they pulled him into the shadows, Woody felt the last spark of hope leave him. He had held on for so long, believing in a dream that was never meant to last. Andy was gone, and now, so was he. In the silence of the attic, Woody became just another lost toy, his dream of being loved and played with forever slipping away like dust in the wind.